Are you also aware that meetings that took place in Dubai where this deal was being discussed, Mr. Jayesh Saini was sitting in that meeting with individuals from the Kenyan government, and I will state here that the person who met Mr. Jayesh Saini in Dubai was Honorable Murkomen when he was the minister in the position you are in?
I am not aware.
Without having evidence that I can prove, but I think it's important that I make the statement that in that meeting that money exchanged hands, and Chair, later on I believe as we continue, these details should be presented to this House.
Now, I want to tell you the truth about airport. From the information, reliable information, Murkomen was given 2 billion as a commission. Na hiyo kampani wa India. Hii pesa ndio hiyo ulikuwa nasikia anasema amenunua mshipi ya 500,000, amenunua saa ya 900,000, kiatu zuia pesa ngapi, sio pesa ingine, ni pesa hiyo ya airport. Na nataka kuambia hivi, hiyo ya pesa ya airport imefanya mambo mengi. Kwa sababu hata kati ya Kimani Ichung'wa ile pesa inamsumbua kuzunguka is part of that money. So I want to tell Murkomen na kina Kimani Ichung'wa, hiyo pesa kama mkikula from reliable sources, can you see the damage you have done in Kenya? Can you see the damage?
The Jomo Kenyatta International Airport is a beacon of pride for Kenya, the gateway to East and Central Africa, with activity throughout the day and night. Millions of people come through this airport to see our natural beauty in Kenya. Millions of people come to enjoy our thriving economy. Millions of people come to Kenya to enjoy our culture. This airport was built bare hand. The foundation that was laid by the Mau Mau fighters, bare hand, brick by brick. But behind the scenes, in the reign of William Samoei Ruto, the man that does not understand that Jomo Kenyatta International Airport is the soul and the art of the Kenyan people and the people of East Africa in general, is now trying under very controversial circumstances to sell our monument, our symbol of freedom, Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. You see, when Kipchumba Murkomen was the Cabinet Secretary for Transport and Davis Chirchir was the Cabinet Secretary for Energy, they sat in a dimly lit room and they were reviewing confidential documents. On the other side of their table was ADANI emissaries, sharp-suited men, whose smiles never quite reached their eyes, as they eyed to put their teeth deep into our infrastructure. It is no coincidence that Murkomen and Davis Chirchir were positioned in these very important sectors. These were men used to getting what they wanted, and they knew they could get it. The ADANI group gets what they want, and in most countries, they've left a trail of controversy. Either people have had to protest so severely to chase them away, but it is truly a group, no matter the cost, that are willing to have what they want. And what they wanted in Kenya was Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, the land surrounding it, and part of Kenya Power. And they met two greedy men, supported by a greedy president that was willing to support them to have what they wanted. For few weeks, whispers had circled Nairobi political cycles. Word had leaked that President William Samoei Ruto, under the guise of attracting foreign investment, was planning to hand over Jomo Kenyatta International Airport to ADANI, the same group that had left trails of scandal and corruption in Australia, Sri Lanka and beyond. The same ADANI whose accounts were being frozen in Switzerland due to suspicious financial activities, possibly money laundering. The people of Kenya had heard that these were not just rumors, but there were few leaders that were talking candidly, like Senator Onyoka. About men like Murkomen and Chirchir, who we thought probably because they had come from humble beginnings could not betray our country for quick profit. We had thought men that could associate themselves with the poverty of Kenyans. William Samoei Ruto was elected on the basis of a man that was going to represent even the very most vulnerable in the society. People could not believe the man that could cry in public, the man that could cry in churches, the man that could cry and say he was going to fight tooth and nail for the very poor Kenyan was going for quick profit. The truth is just darker. No one ever imagined this. Anyway, the deal was nearly done. Murkomen had already been tasked with overseeing Kenya's transport sector. He had been given the power and the ability to negotiate by the president. He had met with ADANI Group representatives several times in secret, and it is being said sometimes he met in Dubai. And it was also alleged that every single time he went in and he tried to come out, he came with briefcases carrying money. Briefcases that were growing heavier. Some people have whispered that it wasn't just money that was changing power, but also promises. Promises of power, protection, influence far beyond what Kenyan politicians could ever achieve on their own without the endorsement of the president. Chirchir, who was overseeing Kenya Power, had his own reasons for being involved. The ADANI Group didn't just want JKIA. They had their sights set on Kenya Power too, to control the airport, control the electricity grid. And you know, when you do that, you control the country. It was an audacious plan, a malicious plan that Chirchir knew. And he knew it. That he couldn't see far. He could only see his own cut of the deal. But he had grown too used to comforts of wealth, the luxury, the power afforded with it, the ability, the fact that you cannot be touched, the ability to even to be able to funnel money into offshore accounts and hide it somewhere. You know, that's enough to silence and also make sure that their conscience left them. As for the president now, the only question that we have is, how much was he paid? What has ADANI promised William Samoei Ruto? Those who know Ruto best have said in the past, it is always about the money and the power to him. But there were some people probably who thought he hadn't completely lost touch with his conscience, his roots, because of course he seemed to think about the mama bogas, the motorbike riders, and the people that had nothing, the farmers. There are people that thought there was still a part of him that remembered the struggles of the Kenyan people. But if that part is there anyway, by now it is clear to everybody that it is deep buried beneath layers of greed and ambition. The deal was moving forward quickly. ADANI lawyers had already started drafting contracts, and the final details were being ironed out. The paperwork has been signed. Kenya Power would effectively belong to ADANI. If this deal has already completely been sealed, because every single Kenyan is hoping that it hasn't been sealed yet, then that means ADANI is going to take the sweat of the Kenyan people, the blood and the tears of our Mau Mau, and they are going to be foreign businessmen who most probably would not even care about the workers. In any case, they have offered them an opportunity either to stay or exit, meaning they don't care whether they stay or not. So this is going to become an asset of ADANI and is going to be part of their vast, corrupt empire. But we, the Kenyan people, we've wanted Murkomen. We've wanted to know where these millions, the cost of watches of millions of Kenya shillings that Murkomen has been showing off to Kenyans, the shoes of 400,000 Kenya shillings, where he has been getting them from. And it was very clear to people they were part of bribes. It's just that we hadn't pointed to exactly the source very correctly. But now we know Murkomen and Davis Chirchir had been part of a scheme to sell our country, but not without the knowledge of our president. It is no coincidence that Murkomen was the transport secretary, Chirchir was the cabinet secretary for energy, and now ADANI is taking over those sectors. It is no coincidence. When we requested that William Samoei Ruto sacks every single person in the cabinet, he returned Chirchir to the cabinet secretary, to the transport, to finish the deal. They knew what they were doing. The Kenyan people saw them. But the Kenyan people are not staying silent forever. They cannot be silenced. The people have fought hard, far too long, to let their country be sold off like a piece of paper. And it cannot be sold off piece by piece by a man that knows nothing about the sweat of how this country came to be. ADANI had seen, we Kenyans have seen what had happened to ADANI in Australia, how they were chased away, how they were rejected for mining coal that would have left communities devastated. We have seen the stories from Sri Lanka, where ADANI attempted to control the East Container Terminal and had been thwarted by a massive public outcry. And we know we Kenyans will make them to exit the same way they exited Australia and Sri Lanka.